Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Due to YouTube's changing quote-unquote community standards, I created a channel called Grumpy Old Fart over on Rumble, a free speech alternative to YouTube. You can see all of my stuff over there, including my political and social commentary, as well as my current events videos. The links to my YouTube and Rumble channels, as well as links to let you order my books, are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an Outlaw Trails Stories video on the Great Train Robbery. Okay, I did a video a few weeks ago titled The Juarez Two-Step. It's about a time when we were playing in Jerry's game and we decided to rob a bank. The robbery sort of went off without a hitch, but it ended up a free-for-all when certain members of the group decided to backstab the other members and cut them out of the deal, as it were. And this is the same group of players with the same game master. We just made up new characters and continued on. Now, this time we decided to try to rob a train. Now, there were trust issues in the group. If you recall that last story, if you watched that last video, the Juarez Two-Step, there were trust issues. Everybody was backstabbing everybody, and it just degenerated into a free-for-all. Bobby and Earl, we each wrote up individual backstories. Bobby and Earl had written up a backstory where they were just discharged from the U.S. Cavalry. And, of course, having done so, they were privy to information that a train was going to be carrying about $600,000 in gold coins, what they called $20 double eagles, from Austin, Texas to Denver, Colorado. And they got the idea that they wanted that gold. And that's cool. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun, right? You get to play the part you can't normally play in real life. In real life, we can't go and rob a train. We'd go to jail. But in this game, it's possible either way. See, that's the whole point. You get to be adventurers, as it were. Randy and Cheryl's player characters owned a section of land adjacent to a deep ravine. Randy and Cheryl were married in real life, so, you know. The railroad tracks crossed the ravine on a bridge. Larry's character was an explosives expert, and my character was the sheriff of a little town in the area. Larry was working for a mining company, and Larry had been fired for drinking on the job. So Jerry worked out a meeting where I arrested Larry for drunken disorderly conduct. Bobby and Earl were hired on as deputies. Long story short, we decided to rob the train. We needed a place to take the gold and hide it until, the heat was off. So we rode out to Randy and Cheryl's place. Their characters in the game were married as well, and we made them an offer to join our scheme. And of course they jumped at the chance because, who doesn't want a chance at $100,000, right? And plus it's a role-playing game. If you're gonna make up a character and not get involved, what's the point, right? Anyway, the plan was that I would procure explosives from that mining company. Bobby and Earl would help Larry to plant the dynamite on the bridge. When the train was on the bridge, he would blow the bridge. The train would crash into the ravine below, and we would hurry down to salvage the gold. Randy and Cheryl had several wagons and lots of horses and mules, and we would hide the coins at their place until the heat was off. That was the plan. And since I was the one doing the investigating, it was a sure bet that the robbers would get away. That was, when the fix is in, you can get away with anything. Just, ask Hillary Clinton. Anyway, so I stole 2 cases of dynamite from the storehouse, and I was very ingenious how I did it. I like to think I'm smart. I found the crates of dynamite, the little crates of dynamite stacked up the boxes, and I pulled the top 3 off, and I took some dynamite from each of the ones below that, and I replaced the lids, and then I put those on top. That way nobody would notice it for a long time. So I told what amounted to 2 cases of dynamite from this storehouse, and I delivered it out to Randy and Cheryl's place under cover of darkness. Larry was staying out at their place as well, because he needed a place to stay, and to keep him out of trouble. And he needed to look over the bridge to see where the best places to put the dynamite were and all that. So that allowed him to do what he needed to do. The two deputies took 2 days and helped Larry to mine the bridge with the dynamite. All was going pretty well. The train approached the ravine. Randy and Cheryl had 2 wagons and mules and pack horses ready. The rest of us were watching nearby. Larry lit the fuse. The engine reached the bridge. Everything was cool. And then the engine was crossing the bridge. And then the engine reached the other side of the bridge. And we're like, holy crap, what's going on? As the 4th car back from the engine hit the far end of the bridge, the dynamite blew the bridge. The engine and the first 3 cars kept on going. The last 6 cars plummeted into the ravine. The fuse took too long. Turns out Larry failed his explosives use roll, and that happens in the game. It's not it's not his fault. It happens to everybody eventually. How many times have you tried to hit an enemy in a game and missed? It happens. He missed his roll. Okay. I told the rest to collect gold while I stood guard. Now the engine came to a halt, and U.S. Army troopers began pouring out of the 2nd and 3rd cars, and I started to get a little worried. I couldn't bluff them into staying out of the ravine using my badge, so I took up a position in the rocks and used my Winchester to keep them busy. I hoped the group could gather the gold quickly. That didn't last long. I kept the troopers busy for about 10 minutes before they started working their way around to flank me. So I grabbed my horse and rode away before they got a good look at me. I was able to lose them in the rocks pretty easily, but while they were looking for me, the group had more time in the ravine. I made it back to town and made an appearance in the saloon and did my rounds before turning in. I figured, well, this is going to sound selfish, but if they're going to get caught, I'd better not be with them. That way I can help them to escape later. At any rate, nobody caught them. I was like, cool. So the next day, I rode out to Randy and Cheryl's house. The group was able to secure $90,000 in gold double eagles under the floorboards in their house. And that was cool. We couldn't get it all, but $15,000 each was a pretty decent take. I wasn't going to complain. And nobody backstabbed anyone. That was the thing. That was we learned our lesson from the last time. This robbery went far, far better than the last one. And of course, because I was the sheriff, I was the one doing the investigating, so, the Army tried to send an investigator, and I flummoxed it up as best I could without getting caught. And this guy ended up looking north into... I think I sent him to Arkansas looking for the bad guys or whatever. At any rate, hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all. Devo Poland, a scientific representative of a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, is sent away as an exchange officer. His objective, to learn the one skill his species never developed, to fight. And he's sent to learn that skill from the one species who does it better than any other in the galaxy, humans. If you like science fiction with an upbeat military tone, check out my novel, Vanguard 1.